Hi, I'm Nick Rodriguez with the Squid Ink service team. Today we're going to talk about flushing your printhead, CoPilot Max or CoPilot Max 512 for either storage or shipment. Now before you get started with your flushing procedure, what you're going to want to make sure you have on hand is the appropriate internal cleaner cartridge for your printhead type and your ink type. Today we're going to be using the 1043 cleaner here. You're also going to want to use some sort of a catch basin or beaker to catch any of the expelled ink and fluids that come out of that printhead, as well as a handful of lint-free, non-abrasive wipes. So the first step into flushing your printhead is going to be remove your ink cartridge from your printhead. What we're going to do after that is expel any of that ink that could be inside of the manifold or the print engine. So first, we're going to go ahead and remove that ink cartridge from the back of the printhead. Next, I'm going to take my drain beaker and I'm going to go down to my drain tube down here. Open up that cap. And I'm going to go ahead with my free hand and press down and hold the purge button at the back of the printhead. I'm looking to have mostly air at the end of this come out of my tube. I'm trying to evacuate all the ink that we have in our ink system. A little bit longer here just to make sure we get everything out. Well, that looks good. So we'll go ahead and release, and again, a slight delay in the purge. There. Now I'm ready to go ahead and cap my drain tube. Once we have all the ink drained out of the internals of the printhead, we're going to go ahead and prime the ink that may be left over in the actual nozzle plate itself. So what I like to do is have some sort of paper towel or something to catch the ink that may expel that I might miss with my lint-free, but I'm never going to use these paper towels to make contact with the print engine or the printhead. Simply there to catch the ink that may drop. What I'm going to do next is fold a lint-free wipe and place this down at the bottom of the printhead. My free hand, I'm going to press down and hold on the purge button. And that's exactly what we want to see. All the ink expelling out of that print engine itself. Now it shouldn't take too long to get rid of all the ink in the print engine, so you want to press and hold until you see a good chunk of bubbles coming out like we're seeing right there. Well, again, take your time a little bit here. The more ink we push out now, the easier it's going to be to actually flush the system out once we put in the cleaner. And that looks good. I'll take my lint free and clean up whatever was expelled. But now we'll get ready to go ahead and put in our internal cleaner. So in this next step, once we've gotten rid of all the ink, we're going to go ahead and introduce our internal cleaners into our system. Now you want to make sure you pick the correct cleaner for your ink type, whether it's a solvent-based or oil-based. Today we're using oil-based 1043. So I'm going to install my cartridge. I'm going to drain it out of the back drain tube, clean out all the manifold chambers, and then we're going to go ahead and repeat the process out the front. So first, I'm going to install my cartridge. Snap that into place. And now I'm going to go down and open up my drain tube. Again, we're going to press and hold the back of the printhead. And it may take a few moments for the cleaner to make its way all the way through that ink manifold and out the back of that drain tube. So just be patient. Now, when we're flushing, it's going to take a while for it to fully clean out the internal system. So at this process, you're going to want to hold that purge button down for quite some time. You know, typically we say 30 or 40 seconds. You may want to go a little bit longer just to ensure that you have a full clean. This is especially important if we're going to be putting our printhead away for storage. If this is being cleaned out for shipping, then you know, you want to get as much of it out as possible, but it doesn't have to be completely diluted. Okay, that's looking pretty good. It's clear if I can see it up against the beaker there, so we're gonna go ahead and cap that. So now that we've got most of our manifold and internal pipelines cleaned out with our cleaner, we're gonna go ahead and continue the process through the front of the printhead. Again, we start with a lint-free wipe with a paper towel at the bottom to catch anything that I may miss. We're going to go ahead and fold that and place that at the bottom of the printhead, holding it there firmly with my free hand. Go ahead and press down on the purge button. And I'm looking for all the jets from the bottom to the top to fill with ink. You can see all those air bubbles coming out. I'm going to slowly, with my wipe hand, go ahead and work my way up. I'm just forcing air out of that. And what we're looking to see is a mostly clear fluid. Right now I can see that my fluid that's coming out of the print engine is pretty diluted. I'm going to go ahead and release here. So once you've gotten all the cleaner out of the drain tube and out of that print engine, and most of it looks pretty clear, we're at that stage where you can either get it prepped for storage, which if you were going to do that, I would recommend leaving the cleaner in place and storing it with the cleaner in the print engine like that. If we're gonna go get it ready for shipment, then the next step will be to go ahead and drain the ink system and the print engine so that none of that fluid escapes during shipment. One of the things I want to address is that if you were going through this process and you were not happy with the way it flushed out and it was too dark for you, you can go ahead and repeat that whole process of adding that cleaner into that printhead again, draining out the back of the tube and then going back out through the front of the print engine. You can do that as many times until you are satisfied with what you're getting out of that print engine. At this point, we're going to go ahead and assume that we're getting this printhead ready for shipment. So what I'm going to do is drain the system of any fluids that may be involved. First thing I have to do is remove my cleaner cartridge. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that out of place like so. And then again, draining out of my drain tube into my beaker to clean out the internal pipe light. And we'll move that out of the way. Get that there. And with no cartridge in the printhead, we're going to go ahead and press down on the purge button. And we're going to keep an eye on our lines here. Now there's a lot of ink in this system, so you want to make sure that you drain as much of it out as possible before you go ahead and get this head ready to be shipped anywhere. Well, I can see my drain tube's got mostly air in it, but we still got a little bit of ink in there, so I'm going to keep going until I see a little bit less. We're looking better there. All right, good. I'm going to release, and again, a little bit of a delay. And we're going to go ahead and cap this line. Now we're going to go ahead and finish up our process with another clean lint-free wipe, folded up and ready to go. Again, placing it down at the bottom, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and press and hold on the purge button at the back of the printhead. Now, when we're draining, there's no real need to go ahead and work your lint-free wipe up to the top of the print engine, because we're just trying to get rid of all the ink, reverse of what we're normally doing. So we're going to just pay attention to the print engine and watch the air bubbles come out. Right there, you can see where it doesn't seem to be pushing much more fluid out, so I'm going to go ahead and release. And clean what I have. Once you've completed your flush and are ready to either store or ship your printhead, the next step is to go ahead and put your nozzle plate cover at the front of the print engine. This will protect the nozzles from being damaged either while sitting or out in the box being shipped somewhere. You're looking to hear that snap in place. At this point, the printhead is all ready for storage or shipment. I would recommend going ahead and taking off the drain tube and capping that with a lure cap if you have any available, so that there's no damage to that port once you're shipping. If it's being stored, go ahead and leave it on. As long as everything is capped, everything should be good. Again, I'm Nick Rodriguez with the Squid Ink Service Team. I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to find any more like this, go ahead and look for us on YouTube or elsewhere on the web.